I'm going to be making juice spheres, seeing if you need to add citric acid to make them actually form. The inspiration for my AY was boba tea. My hypothesis was, the more sodium citrate and alginate there was in the solution, the easier it would be for the balls to form, but I forgot to take into consideration the pH. I also thought cranberry juice would work the best because it's the thickest. The materials I used in my AY were really simple kitchen materials, but the most important were a blender, sodium citrate, sodium alginate, and calcium chloride. I also used lemonade, cranberry juice, Sprite, and Coca-Cola. My procedure was, first you have to measure out wax paper, then tar your scale, then I measured out calcium chloride. After I had gotten 2 ounces, I then completely dissolved the calcium chloride in water. This was my base solution. After I had made the calcium chloride solution, I measured out 2 ounces of sodium alginate and 1 cup of Coca-Cola. I then poured my 1 cup of Coca-Cola into the top of my blender. After doing that, I added the sodium alginate to the Coca-Cola and added another cup of Coca-Cola on top of that. I then blended together these 2 ingredients until it was a homogeneous mixture, which means you can't see the 2 different parts. After doing this, I then recorded the pH. Once all of the hard stuff was done, I could finally pull my mixture into my syringe and start creating the spherical balls. I placed the solution into the calcium chloride mixture, which was a bath, and let that sit for 30 seconds. Then I repeated these steps 4 times, adding 0.5 teaspoons of sodium citrate to every time to find out if the acidity mattered. I then repeated all of this with every single different juice I had. Then measured out all of the spheres on 1 millimeter thick paper. I was really surprised with the results that I got. I found out that the cranberry juice made the widest spheres, but those spheres were not stable and weren't able to sit up by themselves. In the end, my hypothesis was incorrect, but I was partially right because I did think the cranberry juice would make the best spheres. The science of my experiment is pretty simple. The solution I made out of calcium chloride was a base solution, and this solution was the base that the spheres would be formed in. Then, when you poured in the solution that you made that was more acidic or less acidic, is when the balls were created. Acids and bases have very strong reactions to each other, and because the calcium chloride solution was a base, it meant that you could not put an acid into it. The more acidic the food, or the more sodium citrate you added, the more acidic it got, meaning you couldn't form the spheres. In the end, I was happy with my results and what I had learned, and I feel like I can now make boba. Thanks for watching.